Davis, David Pollack, Jesse Palmer alongside. Guys, we can't wait to see this game. Been looking forward to it all week. And the Wolverines will get us started with the opening kickoff. And he's coming out of the end zone. Stopped at the 17, and he's probably second-guessing that return. So Wisconsin's offense will go on the attack first. They got an incredibly efficient performance from this guy last time out. Now, Jesse, it's about making that a consistent thing.
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing watching that tape back from his last game is the ball never touched the ground, David. It was amazing. And it wasn't that he was so accurate throwing the ball deep down the field. It's just that the ball was always going to the open guy. He did a really good job checking it down, taking the profit when it wasn't open downfield. That kept the offense on schedule. That's really important for this offense today.
And when you're watching it as a defensive player and coming to this football game, man, you know this is going to be a challenge. I better get pressure on this guy. If I let him feel comfortable, you'll see another day like last week. I mean, that dude was accurate. Almost every ball was caught. They were in rhythm. They're going to have to find some creative ways to get him off his spots and make him feel uncomfortable.
Really good job by the coverage team to make the stop, and that's where they'll put it in play. So the Michigan Wolverines offense will go to work for the first time today. And it was a collection of highlight reel plays time after time last week. He'd love to do that again, David.
Oh, there's no doubt. He showed you he's capable. He showed you the big play ability, and he can make those big plays for this offense. And I think the offense is going to continue to look for him. Like, he is that guy outside that they can trust. Interesting to see, Jesse, the wrinkles off of the way they used him, and if he's going to continue to be the focal point of this offense.
Quarterback can't pull the trigger, and down he goes at the 41.
As a quarterback, it's no fun playing against 3-4 defenses when they can get pass rushes from the interior of their defensive line. How can you complete throws against this defense if you can't step up into the pocket?
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. Dropping back, it's Vincent. Finds his back in the middle. And they pick up just a few on that completion. The Wolverines will call on their punt team. The punter going to get his first work of the afternoon. He'll aim it toward the sideline to try to make it tough on the return team. Here comes the Wisconsin offense to go back to work. They didn't get much done the last time they had it. Had to punt it away from deep in their own. Breaks into the open. Stopped at about the 25-yard line, but it'll be a first down. So they move the sticks on the run. Let's see what they do with this one. To the air on first down. Finds his big tight end. And he's knocked down, but there's also laundry on the field. We'll see what the officials have called. A very productive play until it was wiped out by that penalty, and they'll go back to work. They'll try the run. And he's stuffed by that big defensive tackle up front. Here comes the offense on second down. Back to pass. And that pass will be jarred loose on second down. That brings up third down. We'll see if the offense can move the chains after that incompletion. On third and long, you'll need to push it downfield. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers. And the Badgers line up to punt it away. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. And the punt team able to smack him to the ground. Michigan ready to get that offense rolling again. They went 3 and out on their first possession. Now to see if they can be more productive this time around. And he does a really nice job finding open space and making a good gain before the stop is made. Power football with the run. They knock him down, but he's got enough to get it across the line and pick up the first down. They moved the chains on the ground last time. Let's see if they try to hit him up top. From the shotgun, they'll run it. And this one will be stopped for no gain. They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. The give to the back. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Trying play action. Fears the pressure. Strong pass rush gets to the quarterback, and they get him at the 46.
And 3rd and long, and the offense goes with a little play action. I don't know why the threat of the run. I'm not scared by that. You can tell the defense doesn't honor it, doesn't buy it, flies by the line, gets to the quarterback, gets the big 3rd down stop.
And the Wolverines will try to pin them back with the punt. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. Punt goes out of bounds, and a really nice job as they stick them deep in their own end. They'll mark it around the 10. The give to the lone running back. Not much there. He gets 1 to the 11. Listen to this crowd just shaking the girders of this place, trying to help their defense. To the air on 2nd down. Makes the grab. He's close to the first down, but they're going to mark him just a little short. Big noise, big house, trying to rile up this Michigan defense on 3rd down. And the defense stands up this offensive line and stuffs him right at the line of scrimmage. He didn't get it. Hunt is on its way. Makes the catch, wants to make a move upfield. He'll get it up to about the 44-yard line before they slam the brakes on him. Running back searching for a hole. Snowed under right at the line of scrimmage for no gain on the play. Didn't get much done on that first play of the drive. It's 2nd and 11. To the air, it's Vincent. Fires to the tight end. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain. It'll be 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Complete to the right. Gets it all the way down to the 39-yard line. It'll be a first down. The Wolverines come to the line with a new set of downs. Looking downfield on 1st down. Out of the backfield, he's open. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is. That penalty moves the ball back 10 yards. We'll replay the down. After getting moved back, it's 1st and 20. One back in the backfield. He gets the carry. The quick feet, the acceleration, the vision, and he works his way to the 44. Behind the chains now on 2nd and long. From the shotgun, the inside give. Makes it past the marker. Perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle at the 17.
Busting big runs like this is a total team effort. Obviously, the back has to find the hole, but you got to have everybody around them doing their job to make it a good play call.
And everybody around them doesn't just mean the offensive line. The receivers getting their blocks downfield is a big deal, too.
It's a huge deal. We always talk about them catching passes, but blocking is so important for their responsibilities.
Nice pickup on the ground there. They'll move the sticks for the first down. This offensive scoring position with a fresh set of downs. It has been all defense all the time in the early going as we wrap up the first quarter, and the stats certainly reflect that. Let's see if the offenses can find a little rhythm here in the second. Starting off this quarter close enough to smell the goal line. They'll dial up the run on 1st and goal. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it. Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. Looking to throw, it's Vincent. It's complete on the right side. And he's ridden to the ground, but there's also a flag down. Let's check the call. We'll repeat the previous down, but this time the offense has 10 more yards it has to cover. Leaves it with the back. He's wrestled to the ground right at the 15-yard line, and a big red zone opportunity here.
Well, they're going RPO. Nice job handing it off, and really good vision there, just getting what he can get, right? Puts his foot in the ground, gets forward, helps this offense find positive yards.
On 3rd and long, hoping to throw beyond the sticks. Had nowhere to go with that one, had to just throw it away. A wise decision to keep the field goal in play. Now on 4th down, here comes the field goal team. Never a doubt. And the first points of the day come on that field goal. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. After putting up the field goal, they're set to kick it away. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. And the return man is stopped, and that'll leave it up to the offense on the next drive. Okay, here comes the Wisconsin offense onto the field. Keeping it on the ground with the running back. They're looking for any type of offense to try to get this thing going down 3-0. Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. Looking to fire. Rushes on him. And the pressure was too much. They get him at the 15.
What a great play. Winning one-on-one, getting home and getting a sack, and that kind of effort is going to get the big house fired up. These 100,000-plus Michigan Wolverine fans are on their feet screaming because of that dominant play right there coming from their D-line.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. Trying to move the sticks on 3rd down through the air. Just a short pass to the tight end. He'll be brought down at about the 18-yard line. Not enough to move the sticks. Kick is in the air. Books it all the way in, and now turns his attention upfield. He's brought down, but a really solid effort to pick up every bit of yardage he could on the punt return. Off the play fake on 1st down, wants to throw. He makes the catch. Knocked down immediately, but they couldn't stop him from getting the big gainer to the 30. They'll run play action. Fires to the big fella. And a good job of coverage by that defense, just a short pickup. Try to make up for some of that lost ground on 2nd down. Scanning the field, it's Vincent. They're setting up the screen. On the Houdini-like moves, get it to the 22. And the Wolverines are at the line looking to convert on 3rd and short. They'll stick to the ground looking for the marker. Picks up enough to give them 1st and 10 from the 13. First snap in the red zone on this drive. Trying to cap this drive with the pass. Looking to the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan! Snagged in the end zone to give them 6. Field shrinks, tight end grows. Big targets, big results.
I've never heard it put that way, but you're dang right. That guy is so big. A lot of times you get a DB matched up on him. He can just post him up. A linebacker, he can run by him. So that's why these tight ends are so dangerous down here in this red zone.
And with the extra point, they're now up by a touchdown and a field goal at 10. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Guys, let's get you up to speed on what's going down in this fun college football game today. Georgia State is in front. They've responded well to all the off-the-field chatter this week. But they still have to finish the job, and that is no sure thing right now. They're up by 10 over Troy. Sunbelt, Funbelt. We'll circle back if anything big happens. You should know about it.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. They'll go to work in the air on second down. And the Heat gets there. And they get him down at the 14-yard line.
And I love playing man coverage on the back end, getting those receivers' faces. Don't let them feel comfortable in run zone where they can find all these holes in the zone and my rush can't get home. Pressure them, pressure them, pressure them.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On third and long, doesn't need to take the check down. He lobs one high down the left side. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch. The Badgers will send out the punt unit. They may have to pay him overtime. He's punting for the 5th time today. Fields the punt and tries to find an opening. Quick step and go. Very little will make a crowd hold its breath like a punt return, and he brought them to their feet on that one. To the ground with the back. There he goes. Smashes through the tackle. They get him on the ground, but not before he rumbles all the way to the 5.
Man, this is a guy who just seems to get better as the game goes on. What a run getting his offense down close to the goal line.
So nice creating explosive runs in the run game. Now you're getting in the red inside the 5. Go punch this in and get a touchdown.
Looking to throw, it's Vincent. Big fella moving. And that corner came in hot despite knowing that he was giving up some size. Trying to barge their way in. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Wolverines. No midseason doldrums for these guys as they push out the lead in Week 6.
And what a push up front by this offensive line. Everyone playing in unison, driving out of their stance, working into the second level, hats on hats, creating a lane for that running back.
Ready to try the point after. And with the extra point, they now have a 3-possession lead at 17. Kickoff unit getting some extra work as this lead has really grown. Here he comes from inside his own 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Off the play fake on first down to throw. And the quarterback caught up to and sacked at the 12. Fast, physical, and disruptive. Michigan has a rich and storied history of guys up front who can make life miserable for a quarterback.
Just dudes. I mean, guys that win matchups. Guys that, you know, if it's going to be a pass rush on the outside, one-on-one on a tackle, they can go get him at the defensive end spot. We can mention names, and Hutchinson recently, one of the higher picks in the NFL draft, but always guys that play the same way.
Pocket breaking down. And the pressure gets to him again. Another sack.
Well, I think one of the biggest reasons why this team is finding themselves in a hole here in the first half is this has been a sack party. They can't keep the defense off of their quarterback. They haven't been able to get the ball deep down the field, throwing it with the consistency they want because they can't keep their quarterback standing up straight.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On third and long, a check down would be the last resort. Firing deep. He's got it. They corral him out of bounds. Mark it down at the 38, and this offense might have something going. This first half of offense won't go on the highlight reel so far, but starting to get things moving, it's 1st and 10. Use the play fake, now to throw. Unloads it left. Complete downfield. A big play, gets it into plus territory, and they'll mark him out of bounds at the 44. Off the play fake. Got out of trouble and throws. Back open in the middle. He makes the stop almost as soon as he catches it, and they're short of the first down. Second down, he'll throw it. Here comes the heat. Pressure is effective from the defense. They knock him down just behind the midfield stripe at the 48.
How about this defense in this game so far? Already 5 sacks, and we're only in the second quarter. I think if you're the offensive coordinator, you have got to start mixing up these play calls, moving the pocket, get your quarterback away from danger, because it's obvious. This offensive line, they cannot hold up, and they cannot get it done.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. Motion from the back. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to turn one loose downfield. And that one's incomplete. They weren't just trying to move the chains. They were trying to move the scoreboard. Instead, it's 4th down. Punt is in the air. And the ball hits at the 3 and gets into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Plenty of time left in the half here as they take over, but they will want to be efficient here in the final 2 minutes. Grabs it in the middle. And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few. Now on 2nd down. And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical matchup there. 3rd down coming. Wants to throw. It's Vincent. Fires to the wideout. It's complete. That's the kind of play that can really get you going as they get it out to the 36. Wants to go up top on 1st down. Finds the tight end. The offense calls a timeout to stop the clock.
I know a lot of people are going to look at that play and say, man, that was a bad play. Didn't gain any yards. But that could be the offense maybe setting something up. The play caller is going to remember that last play. He's going to remember how the defense reacted to it, made a quick tackle. They might pump that throw and then hit another player vertically down the field for an explosive play down the line. Just keep that in mind.
Wants to pass it. Gets it out quickly. He's got 1st down yardage as they move it to the 44. The offense calls timeout. It's the 2nd one they've used this half. The Wolverines will line it up on 1st and 10. Looking to throw on 1st down. Quick strike complete. And the defense had that one well covered. Just a short gain there. And here comes the offense on 2nd down. Defensive back spread all over the field trying to take away the pass. Back to throw, and they've got to be aware of the clock. Fires to the tight end. Stopped just inside the 30 at the 29. It's a 10-yard pickup and a 1st down. And the offense just going to spike it here. Running out of time here in the first half. They're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. Looking downfield very late in the half. Tight end finds a soft spot. And this defense has its work cut out to get this dude on the ground. He was shedding serious tackles on his way to picking up the 1st. And here on 2nd down, they'll send out the field goal unit to try to get 3 before the break. Just drives it between the uprights. And that will extend their lead even further.
And listen, y'all know in the booth and everywhere how I feel about kickers. Don't always love leaving it on their foot, so to speak, but nice job executing. He keeps doing stuff like that. I'll keep trotting him out there.
We played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Guys, looks like we've had a compelling start to things there in Ann Arbor. And how can we begin our analysis of that first half without singing the praises of one of the elite backs in football? Racking up huge numbers on the ground, even throwing the occasional block. This kid is the total package. And if this defense doesn't adjust its strategy, he could be headed towards a career day. And with that, let's send it back to the guys in the big house.
And the Badgers will kick it off to start the second half. On the move from inside his 5. And the returner goes down. Guys, here come those maize and blue winged helmets on offense. They go to work in the third quarter with the lead, but they have had a little trouble keeping their quarterback upright.
Yeah, and you have the lead, you're positive, but the offensive line coach is definitely going to be upset. And the offensive coordinator, listen, I don't want my guy getting touched. He's being productive, but give him some more time here in the second half.
I think you can do that, too, offensively, by maybe leaving your tight end in to help block, maybe chipping with running backs to help these tackles out on the edge, because you're right, that pocket has been shaky, and if it continues to be that way in the second half, this could be a much different looking football game.
They'll make the stop about 3 yards short of the first down. And the Wolverines will line up to punt it away. They'll look to pin them deep. And the punt team gets down there and gets the return man on the ground. Out comes the offense as they get set to take over. They'll give it to the back. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. And this offense is desperate to keep this drive alive, trailing by multiple possessions, and it's getting late. And they can't hook up on the big play, and that brings up a 4th down. The Badgers decide to punt it away. 3 and out, and not much choice but to get rid of the ball. That's a perfect example of not settling for a fair catch. Pick up whatever yardage you can and help out the offense. Off play action on 1st down. Fires to the big fella. That's a really good tackle there, giving up some size and still making the play. Dropping back, it's Vincent. Bringing the heat. Finds his tight end. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that 1st down marker. The Wolverines come to the line on 3rd and short, trying to keep the drive alive. It's complete to the right. Good, solid pickup there. Now they can start to smell it with a 1st down at the 31. Leaves it with the running back. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. Lost 1 on that last one. It's 2nd and 11. Wants to go up top. The screen. He can go. And they do a really good job. Not as easy as it looks to get those blocks. And he picks up the 1st down. Makes the grab. The ball is down at the 14 after that grab. Going to work on 2nd down in the red zone, and still some ground to cover to pick up that 1st down. The hand to the running back. He goes out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. They'd love to pick up this 3rd down and get a fresh set with 1st and goal. Takes it from the gun on 3rd down. Pulls it in. Couldn't quite nudge it in. Not sure you could get much closer, but it'll be 1st and goal. Pushes ahead. Touchdown, Michigan! And the stomping has commenced.
And the offense continues to run the football. A 2nd rushing touchdown from the running back. The offensive line paving holes. Continue to feed this man the ball.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And they did tack on that extra point without any adventure. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
A lot of eyeballs on your game, guys, and a few on this interesting matchup as well. South Alabama is in front. They've answered the bell today, but they still have to finish the job, and that is no sure thing right now. They're up by 10 over Arkansas State. Just another week of football.
Turning it on! Finally corralled, but not before. He picks up the 1st down.
That's a huge throw for the offense, but they're down by a ton. They're going to need a lot more of that, and it's not going to be easy considering the defense knows they're probably going to be throwing the ball every play here in the second half moving forward.
He's knocked out of bounds. They'll mark it at the 44. Let's see what they've got on second down. Running to the left. And a nice solid pickup there before the defense wrestles him to the ground. And the Badgers come to the line on third down, trying to keep this drive alive. Tight end now in motion. Bully ball on third and short. And boy, is he close to that first down, maybe just a couple of inches short. The Badgers will punt this one away. And no chance for the return man to get his hands on that one as it hops out of bounds. And here comes the Michigan offense back on the field. Quarterback making adjustments. This time they stop him behind the line of scrimmage, and boy, that has been rare in this one. A negative play to open the drive. Let's see what they've got on 2nd and 14. To throw, it's Vincent. Quickly to the tight end. And the big fella couldn't elude the cornerback who makes a sure tackle. Now facing a 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Throws to the wideout. Put it where only his man could get it and gave him enough room to get the foot down. And the Wolverines have it with a 1st and 10. Wants to throw on 1st down. Just too much heat that time, and they knock him down at the 31.
Sometimes you beat your guy and you get sacked so clean, and sometimes, like on this play, the DBs do a great job covering, make the QB hold the football, and then the rush gets home.
The Wolverines trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. 2nd down, they'll go to the air. And he's knocked down. They've got a good chunk of ground to cover on 3rd and long from the 41. From the gun, wants to pass. Zings it complete to the right. He's got enough to move the chains, and they'll spot it at the 47. We've reached the end of the period, and Michigan has the lead. And as we switch ends of the field, let's take a quick look at the national rankings. One more quarter to play, and it might be unlikely, but hey, it's college football. Comebacks happen. They go back to work with the 1st down in the final period of this one. The give on the option. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. Got stuffed on 1st down. It's 2nd and 10. Wide receiver going in motion. Rides to the back. Makes a man miss. Really nice pickup on that one as they get it to the 36. It'll be 1st down. And the Wolverines kept this drive moving on the ground. Now back to work. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. All down, but they'll move the sticks as he picks up the 1st down. They'll run it. Runs through a tackle. He's wrestled to the ground right at the 15-yard line, and a big red zone opportunity here. Looking to pass. It's Vincent. Makes the catch. That completion takes them down to the 7-yard line, and they are ready to strike. Might be calling a hot route. They'll use the running game on 1st and goal. Touchdown, Wolverines! And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house. That one ought to give them firm control of this game, and they have gotten things going here, about to move to 4-1.
And it hasn't mattered what they've called guys offensively all game long or who's been on the field, what personnel groupings there have been. They're simply executing at a higher level than this defense, and they're keeping their foot on the pedal here in the fourth quarter.
On to attempt the try. And the extra point will tack another one onto this lead. They put it in the end zone with a 12-play scoring drive. And he found his way to the end zone from the 7 to cap it. On the run from inside his own 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. And Wisconsin has its offense back on the field. After 3 consecutive punts, we'll see if they can dial up something that can get this offense moving forward. And he never had a chance, just stopped cold as soon as he got it. Wants to fire on second down. And the quarterback goes down at the 11-yard line. Michigan stole their winged helmets and possibly their fight song from Princeton, but they are giving an Ivy League level education in defense today.
Yeah, and stealing their hearts, just ripping them out, not giving them anywhere to go, no life. This offense has no answers because Michigan's out there just destroying them, giving them a education.
On 3rd and long, he'll need to loosen up that arm. He can't make the grab. It's incomplete, but there is a flag, and I believe this is going to be pass interference.
And the defender just way too handsy on that last play. You could see all the contact as the ball was in the air. He simply can't do it, and the referees caught it.
Pressure coming. Trying to get rid of it.
And the quarterback gets hit again. We already know this defense has gotten home to him multiple times in this game. So here you are, you're trailing in the game. Defense knows you're going to throw it. They're pinning their ears back. You can't feel very confident right now. If you're the play caller, certainly if you're the quarterback, that you're going to have time to throw.
They're going to keep this drive going. They'll have to make a play on 3rd and long from the 26. They get enough rush, and it pays off. The sack at the 20.
And this has been one of those days you want to forget. I mean, you're getting drunk. There's no other way to put it. It's been a bad day. I'm trying to put a drive together here, maybe to just get some kind of momentum, something positive, maybe something in the locker room we can talk about that didn't go wrong.
Coach has no choice here. The offense has to stay on the field, down multiple possessions this late. 4th down attempt coming. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Catches it past the sticks and still on his feet. And they finally get him to the ground. An easy conversion for this offense. Defense not exactly the perfect 4th down call there. And the Badgers will snap it on 1st and 10. Here's the handoff. And he'll lose yardage on this play. Loses 2 yards. Great job by the defense. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The Badgers have put themselves in dire straits after that last play. It's 2nd and a mile. Back to pass. Quickly out to the tight end. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few. They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Quarterback feeling that pressure, and he's knocked down at the 42.
This defense has taken the game over. They're winning the game in large part because of how dominant they've been up front, how good their pass rush has been.
Down by multiple possessions, you can't come up empty on this drive. They'll go for it on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Makes a connection. Just what this offense was looking for. Sets him up at the 26 with the first down. Out of the gun to give to the back. He stopped after a 1-yard pickup at the 25. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. Looking to fire. Takes the easy completion. The defense wouldn't let him loose there, and it was a completion, but they lost yardage. 3rd and long coming from the 27-yard line. You can make a field goal from here. Just don't... Oh, he's got some space. There is nowhere to go. He has stopped, and it'll be 4th down from the 23. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. They got him for the sack, and that'll be a turnover on downs.
I know that was tough, but as a quarterback, you got to know on 4th down, you cannot take a sack. Any way, shape, or form, you've got to be able to get rid of that football and give it an opportunity. That time, I know it wasn't blocked perfect, but the quarterback's got to have more sense of urgency.
So here comes the Michigan offense. That last touchdown drive was surgical through the air, Jesse.
It sure was, and that's why this offense is so dangerous, David, because they can score in a hurry because of how efficient they are throwing the football.
And welcome to modern college football. That's what it is. Spread you out, find my playmakers, make quick decisions, and really put defenses in a difficult situation.
Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. They'll put it in play from the 41 on first down. Quarterback touch pass on the jet sweep. And some room to work. And he'll find enough running room to get it just short of midfield at the 49. The Wolverines with myriad options after that big pickup on first down. And it'll be incomplete. This is some physical pass defense. Just this side of midfield, the defense trying to rise up on 3rd and short from the 49. Turns it loose. Makes the grab inside the 30. And this offense is feeling it as they rip off a big chunk of yardage, and they've got it on the 22. And the Wolverines are moving quickly down the field. Back to throw, it's Vincent. Finds his big tight end. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground to cover to pick up the first. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The Wolverines are threatening in the red zone. Off the bootleg and rolling out. Takes the easy throw in the flat. And that defense is there to guide him out of bounds after a short gain. And the Wolverines are at the line looking to convert on 3rd and short. Wants to keep it in the air. And a missed opportunity on 3rd down as the defense knocks it free, and 4th down is coming up. They're happy enough to try to take the points as the field goal unit heads out. Didn't make them sweat at all. It's good. Well, that's just piling on. Not the penalty kind, just the mean kind.
And they just tack on more points to this big lead. Listen, 4th quarter is sitting extremely pretty. All we got to do, not give up big plays, make them earn everything they get the rest this way, and we looking pretty good.
Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. Here comes the Wisconsin offense to go back to work. They've got it back after that last drive stalled out, and they were stopped on 4th down, David.
Yeah, and they put a little bit of a drive together, but, Jesse, they stalled on the other side of the field, and they got to find a way to keep that momentum going as they get closer to the end zone.
I agree. I do like their mindset, though, and I think they need to continue being aggressive moving forward in this game.
This offensive line trying anything to protect the quarterback at this point. Nothing's working, and they'll back up after the holding penalty. Finds just enough daylight to work his way up to the 19-yard line. They're dealing with a 2nd and long. Wants to go up top. Firing to the right, complete. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the play. Let's see if it stands.
Hold.
They'll back him up with a holding penalty this time. They've spent most of the day backing them up with sacks anyway. Pulls and throws off the RPO. Didn't pick up a lot there. Moved it forward just a few. Clock stops and we've reached the 2-minute timeout. This offense looking for anything to cut into this big lead. On 3rd and long, you'll have to turn it loose deep. A deep throw as the clock winds down. And trying to put points on the board on 3rd down. Now they're staring at 4th down. And the Badgers will bring the punt team onto the field. Doesn't say much for your drive when you're looking forward to the punt. At midfield, trying to turn it upfield. And you make the stop, and that is exactly what you want out of your punt cover unit. They'll run it to keep this clock grinding. A solid pickup there before the defense is able to make the stop. Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. Looking to throw, it's Vincent. He's got the tight end. And the defense makes the immediate tackle, but he has enough for the 1st down. Looking to throw on 1st down. Got the quick pass. Run out of bounds. They'll spot him at the 24. The Wolverines with a 2nd and short to keep this drive moving. They'll go to the ground. Spins away from the defense. They'll make the stop, but that 1st down ought to ice it, and they should be able to kneel this one out. This is what an elite team does. They know they're better. They go out. They take the figurative sledgehammer and hit them right between the eyes.
And they just look good in every phase of the game. If I'm on the coaching staff, I don't know what you could ask for your guys to do better. I think the challenge now for this team is going out next week and trying to play with the same type of intensity and the same level of execution.
Well, Jesse, it's easy to look good on the field when you look that good in your unit. Like when you look that good coming off the bus. Those dudes are good. This is a great team, and they proved it. Just domination from start to finish.
That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.